Groupies were the high priestesses of rock and roll, and their worlds revolved around the gods they worshipped.
People in general will do whatever it takes to get in the back, and unfortunately it's usually girls that would do anything to get back and see what goes on.
These willing young women were everywhere, in the hotel rooms, on the tour buses, and always backstage.
Groupies are there for one and one thing only, and it's a fabulous thing, but it's a different focus.
And with Aerosmith's continued success, there may be no limits to the definitions of sex and music.
Music is not, restricted to a particular age to be appreciated, felt, understood.
There's that stereotype of male fantasy of women being together. That's like a turn-on and is not threatening. Whereas the thought of guys, somehow that's more threatening.
I'm free because I can leap up and scream. I can put my fist up in the air. I don't give.
Here was this woman who, I don't know, was just making such an intense statement, and it was so emotional. So in that emotion was a kind of a sexuality that came through.
She was like the antithesis of like all of the cute girls.
Taking their cue from Lauper's exuberant female liberation and the Go-Go's good time philosophy, the Bangles were a new kind of girl group. Unlike their 60s counterparts, they called the shots.
We did not want to have any Svengalis, in the mix with us. Someone sort of pulling the strings.
We wanted to pull our own strings.
We wanted...
Walk like an Egyptian. Walk like an Egyptian.
The Bangles freely admit that being on stage made them feel sexy.
There is a sexual aspect to the whole thing. We enjoyed the fact that we were an all-girl band and that it had a certain effect on people. I mean, when we dress up on stage, we do it for ourselves.
We don't actually dress
now.
up on stage, we dress up somewhere else.
Yeah, and then we go on
But
stage.
that's a good idea.
Other female artists have joined the battle to define for themselves what being sexual and in control really means.
They're always fighting against the double standard, if you express yourself sexually, then you can be called a slut. If you hold back, then you're cold.
And according to the experts, it still isn't entirely equal.
There's so many more females out there expressing themselves sexually. It's just taken a long time, and I think it still has a way to go.
When people... Seductive cover art could get an album noticed amid a sea of competition.
Looking at those album covers, and...
Fantasized.
If he's the term liars, which I think would be a pretty accurate description of the people who professionally go out and tell the public that this music doesn't affect your kids. They're damn liars.
I think art is very powerful, but I don't think art has the ability to change a person from one kind of person into another.
But the teenagers usually had a history of problems that predated their interest in music.
A kid listening to a Judas Priest record, after having a completely well-adjusted life, is not going to listen to a Judas Priest record and then go out and shoot 5 people.